What do you think of the mix?
Well, I was all over SportsCenter when it happened. Here's the bottom line. They want Jason Kidd to be the head coach. Frank Vogel's days are numbered before they even begin. He won't last more than 2 years in L.A., and that's pushing it, okay? And that's not to disrespect Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel obviously had success in Indiana, going to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals appearances. His time in Orlando was not as impressive. He's got a third shot at the apple here. He was willing to take $1 million less per year than Ty Lue. So obviously that's $3 million that you save if you're the Los Angeles Lakers. He was also willing to accept their conditions where they insist on formulating his staff, mainly having Jason Kidd as their developmental coach. And people are missing why they're looking at Jason Kidd that way. Jason Kidd was there when the Greek Freak was there. When Jason Kidd was let go, the Greek Freak swore by him. He was very, very upset that they had let go of Jason Kidd. You look at some of the other players like Middleton and others that had been there. Jason Kidd was the guy and his staff, Gugarich and those guys, that were really tutoring these guys and, bringing them along. So Jason Kidd and his staff are highly respected as it pertains to developing talent. So when you look at the Kyle Kuzmas, the Brandon Ingrams of the world, and others, the Lakers are looking for a developmental role that a coach is going to play. You couldn't hire Jason Kidd in their eyes because the optics didn't look good. DUI charge, domestic violence allegations, having a reputation that's trying to usurp the authorities of people in Brooklyn and Milwaukee, which is what ultimately led to his exodus from there. The manner in which he departed Brooklyn quickly to get to Milwaukee. All of those things are held against him. So from an optics perspective, they didn't feel they could pull off hiring Jason Kidd as your head coach, which is why they insisted to Monty Williams when they offered him the 3-year deal instead of 5. Take Jason Kidd. They insisted to Ty Lue, take Jason Kidd, even though he had been in 3 finals and won a championship. And even though we might all, have a bit of a problem with it, because especially in the case of Ty Lue, there's no reason why he shouldn't have been offered a 3-year deal as opposed to a 5-year deal. And you don't tell a coach who's won a title that you pick his staff. In the end, it's clear. The guy they really wanted in all of this. You got Monty Williams on the list, Ty Lue, Mike Woodson was going to be interviewed, Lionel Hollins was going to be interviewed, okay? The list of J.B. Bickerstaff was going to be was interviewed. All of these names, the bottom line is the one person that they wanted was Jason Kidd. They just couldn't get away with hiring him as the head coach right now. He will be the head coach in L.A. in a couple of years. Frank Vogel, as I told them on SportsCenter the other day, when they said, well, Stephen A., how do you sell this? I said, it's very, very simple. You're Frank Vogel. You think that showing up on Get Up is going to get you $5 million a year? I don't think so. I've never seen a guest in ESPN's history that gets $5 million a year. So you're going to take that job because nobody was knocking on his door to give him a job. This is better than unemployment. It's 5 years. You're living in Southern California. At the very least, you're going to pocket $10 to $15 million. Frank Vogel he's going to be all right, okay? Jason Kidd is going to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. It's just a process that's taking place before it happens.
Okay, and with all of that, but then let us get then to LeBron James, who knows more about basketball than probably any of the people that we're talking about. So he knows all the things you know. So how does that then play itself out? What happens between now and the time that Jason Kidd becomes the head coach? Because by then, LeBron James will be 36 years old.
He'll meet with them and talk to them at his discretion, as he always does with new coaches. When he wants to talk to them, he does. When he doesn't want to talk to them, he'll avoid them until he's getting ready to talk to them. At the end of the day, he's going to show up in the purple and gold. He's going to average 27 a game. He's going to go out on the court. He's going to turn you into a playoff contender, because I believe they would have made the playoffs if he had not gotten hurt, and they could have been to the conference finals had he never gotten hurt and missed those 17 consecutive games. But in the end, make no mistake about it, LeBron James ain't there for basketball. LeBron James is in L.A. for different interests. Now, he can cite, everybody can explain it any old way they want to. Any place else, he could have signed a 2-year deal with a 1-year opt-out with the Los Angeles Lakers. He could have done that. But guess what? He signed on for 3-4 years with an option after a 3rd year. Why? Because he made it very, very clear he's going to L.A. for more than just basketball. He's trying to build his business empire out there. That's his objective for being out there to begin with. So no matter who the coach is, LeBron James' intent is to be in Los Angeles, California, to handle business outside of basketball. Once he gets on the basketball court, he'll never cheat us. He'll always give us what he has. But he's not in L.A. just for basketball. If it was just about basketball, he'd have never left Cleveland.
You agree with? What do you think happens with LeBron here?
Well, I think he stays, obviously, but at the same time, it's about looking beyond basketball, and that's what he's done. And as you stated, Stephen A., he is an incredible talent.
I was just watching. Jalen's talking about him demanding a trade, right? Talking about if he doesn't get the coach he wants.
No. Let's quote Jalen Rose accurately. Yeah. Jalen Rose said the same thing myself and even Max Kellerman said. He said, quote, he should ask for a trade. In other words, we don't know. We don't believe that's what LeBron James would do. Matter of fact, I'm told it's not what he will do. I'm certainly told that he would not trade. The Lakers will not trade him either, even though there's been people in Hollywood, not basketball people, but people in Hollywood and Jeannie Buss's ear telling them, get rid of him, trade him, just rebuild because y'all ain't going anywhere anyway. But again, he doesn't have a no-trade clause, so you could conceivably move him. That's not something they're going to do. It's not something he's thinking about doing. We're just saying if you're trying to win, considering how haphazard this situation is and you don't have the coach that you wanted, it might be in your best interest to leave. But what people are not thinking about is LeBron has this mentality. Ty Lue's my man. He got the interview. They were going to make him an offer, and even though it's not ideal that they gave you 3 years, the bottom line is I'm here for 3 years. So we win, you get the extension. What's the problem? But in the end, you don't ask a championship coach to pick his staff for him, and that's what the Lakers were doing.